one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're going to get started with the student of the month.
I was going to say right beside of him.
Dawson? Dawson in the house? Join me up front, please. How we doing tonight, Dawson? Good. You know why you're here? Why are you here tonight? Student of the month, okay. Who'd you bring with me, or with you? Big crowd over there. Well, you got the whole family here supporting you tonight. That's awesome. Well, Dawson, I've got this note here from Mrs. Himes. Could I read that? Okay. I am selecting Dawson Danford as our student of the month. Dawson is an absolute joy to have in his class, consistently arriving with a smile and a positive attitude. He is an incredible listener who follows directions immediately, making our classroom run smoothly every day. Beyond his excellent behavior, Dawson is a true friend to his peers, always offering a kind word or a helping hand to those around him. His dedication to doing his best work and his respectful nature make him a wonderful role model for the entire class. Keep up the great work, Dawson. That's great. Being a role model to your peers, being a good example. Keep that up through your whole career, okay? All right. So I've got this certificate here, which you can take home. There's also what I just read. You can take that home and let your family read that again if they'd like, okay? We also have a little goodie bag here. We've got, I think, a water bottle in there, and there's some earbuds in there too.
Wow.
That's for you to take as well. Can I shake your hand? You got a picture? Want to get a picture with me, bud?
Please.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Max, you're a busy man. You got things to do, right, tonight? Well, we appreciate you taking a break from what you were doing, taking pictures of the game. So I assume you know why you're here, right? All right. I got a letter here from Mr. Ball. Maddox is a shining example of integrity, kindness, character, and being helpful. Maddox films basketball games for the girls' teams, takes photos at most sporting events, helps with concession stand, and stocking the emergency medical bags for all the sports. Maddox is always smiling and willing to chat with parents, staff, and students from high school, middle school, and elementary. His pleasant disposition is an inspiration to anyone he meets. Accomplishments, being an outstanding example of benevolence. Working towards his helicopter pilot license, very impressive, and a GPA of 4.878 out of 4 and is second in his class. That's fantastic. So here is a certificate from the school board and a goodie bag, and thank you for all you do. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, you can.
Come on.
You can take it.
All right, now go take a picture of victory.
Yeah.
Yeah, anybody with student of the month, if you guys want to stay for the rest of the meeting, you sure can, but if you want to sneak out, now you can. You're more than welcome to stay.
Sorry. Thank you.
Jump, buddy.
Take the long way around. That's a shot. Got the ball under the basket. How much? Like 30 seconds left or something?
All right, we are going to open up for public comments. Again, trying to keep everything 5 minutes or so.
Pretty fast.
For those that don't know me, my name is Brandon Williams. I was hired as an instructional assistant in November 2025. In that time, I've built many encouraging relationships with students and feel that I have made a positive impact with most of them anyways. In the meantime, in the time that I have been employed, I have worked under both Mr. Walsh and Dr. Rose. While working with Mr. Walsh, we were able to have constructive conversation and develop a work environment of encouragement and grace where needed. Although I am thankful for the chance to work with students and staff through Dr. Rowe hiring me, I feel as if I've been under a microscope since I began. I don't think the intention was ever for me to keep my job. In the time I have been employed, I have been written up on multiple occasions for what seem like major offenses on paper, but in reality, they are minor. And for sake of time, I'm not going to go through the write-ups. I'm sure you guys have them, or you can investigate those. And if you guys would like to sit down and talk with me about any of those things, I would be happy to discuss them at length. Full transparency here. I'm trying to be as open as I can. I feel as if the tone was set that I was never able to do anything correctly by the standard that was set. I was not able to defend myself or make right any of the wrongs that have been claimed. She has gone out of her way to interrogate students about me without ever asking me what my side of the story may have been. I feel like I am on trial every single day that I walk into the school building. I would like to know if she takes the time to ask the teachers that I work with about their view of me and my work ethic. The teachers I work closely with have been more than helpful and positive. If I was doing something incorrectly, they were quick to offer help and guidance. They have shown me new skills in problem solving when it comes to students, and also engaged in conversation with me about strategies that I may use that may work with each student in particular. Because what works for one student may not work for another. The same goes for the students that I work with daily. I'm not sure if she's ever asked the impact, either positive or negative, that I have on them during their school day. I've been able to develop trust and friendships with most of the students. We can learn to have fun at the same time. We can learn and have fun at the same time, pardon me. This may not be conventional for all teachers and staff. I do understand that, but it works for me. Kathy Minnick, Jody Moore, Natalie Wenzel, Kevin Wenzel, Sarah Butch, and Candace Lytle, I'm sure would all vouch for me and my approach with the students that I've taken. It seems Dr. Rowe is only picking the students that I've reprimanded for their behavior. Of course, her opinion isn't going to be high of me since I am calling them out on bad behaviors. Myself and staff all understand how quickly a student can wreck a reputation of an adult given the chance, especially if the student thinks it will get them out of trouble. The write-ups that I've been accused of have been worded in such a way that I come across as a dangerous person who carries a liability to the school system. I can assure you that is not my character at all. I'm actually quite the opposite. I have never been accused of hurting or causing harm to any child until I began working here, even to the point where it was implied that me giving candy to students, even for rewards, was an attempt perceptibly grooming a child. And that hurts deeply, incredibly deeply. It is devastating to me that Dr. Rowe has painted this picture of me not only to herself, but to staff and students and the community alike. Anyone who truly knows me knows this is not my character. The most recent accusation was with a student I had just reprimanded for gossiping. As staff, we have all witnessed what gossip can do to the students. It causes unnecessary chaos. This particular student has been in trouble on multiple occasions by other teachers and staff for causing issues with gossip and tattling, even to the point of expulsion last year. I did not feel the way I handled the situation was any more or less harsh than I had seen other staff members handle this. Dr. Rowe did not come and talk to me about the situation prior to pulling students out of class to question them. I wasn't even given a chance to tell my side of the story to her before they were questioned. We are all aware of the damage a disgruntled parent and student can cause. I've been there as well. You want to protect your child and make sure they are not being wronged by someone else, especially staff. But since when do we not protect our teachers and our staff? West Central has always been a part of my life. I have given time and effort in many ways, wanting to see the success of students and athletes. I've been helping with the wrestling program off and on for more than 20 years now, as I was a wrestler myself here. I have helped at practices, meets, I've kept book and records, offered encouragement and skills to the wrestlers, to the students. I want to see our students grow and become better. I have volunteered under many coaches and developed lasting friendships with all of them, along with past students and wrestlers who I still keep in contact with today. I'm proud to say that I have been a part of something that has been so successful in those people's lives. Dr. Rowe stated in my forms that I may have poor judgment. I will agree that I am not perfect, because none of us are. But the poor judgment is only based on one person's opinion. I feel as if I have handled situations, the way I've handled situations may not be customary or cookie cutter compared to others, but it's not deserving of the title I've been given. I think the connections I have made with the students have been based on the fact that I am not like everyone else. I am not like the teachers. I am not like most of the other instructional assistants, and I do approach things differently. I'm also a man in a prominently dominated woman's world. I am going to do things differently. I was also once a student that struggled in school, not because of my academics, but because I came from a broken home that it had no outlet. That's where wrestling comes in for me. It became my outlet. The teachers and staff that made the biggest impact on me were the ones that gave it to me straight. They worked with me, they showed me grace, and they reprimanded me when it was needed. And I simply want to give that back. I want the students and athletes alike I work with to feel that same connection. I feel like in my short time, I have already started making those connections, and I have gained the trust and respect with those students as well as their parents, because that's the goal, to make a lasting impact to ensure success with these kids, to make them better, our school better, our community better, and even our world better. I'm simply asking for the board to please reconsider overturning this termination. I feel as if all of this could have been avoided had there been some real conversation and problem solving. I want to be given the chance to show you, Dr. Rowe and Mr. Walsh, I am not the terrible person I've been painted out to be. My students and my team, and those kids especially that struggle, I feel as though they need me as much as I do need them. I appreciate your guys' time, and I pray that you guys will show both grace and mercy in an unjust termination concerning my employment in West Central. I simply want my job back, to be able to coach and continue to follow my passion of making those around me feel loved, feel cared for, and feel wanted. Thank you for your time.
Is there anybody else for public comment? All right.
Oh, sorry.
So, Brandon is an aide in my classroom. I'm Natalie Wenzel, and he's also an aide in my husband's classroom, Kevin. And Kevin wrote a letter so that I could read it tonight. He's at home waiting for a call from our daughter. It has come to my attention that Brandon Williams is being fired as an aide at the elementary school. This is not good news for me as a teacher who's had Brandon in my classroom during the present school year. I can state without question that he has been a positive influence on my students. He cares about them, works patiently with them, and provides a positive male role model that is essential in our school. West Central Elementary School is a better place with Brandon as a part of it. I also think the same thing. He has a relationship with a very troubled young man. Most teachers can't get him to do anything. He will rebel, he'll cry. He doesn't do that with Brandon. They have built this relationship. That student comes into my room and he works hard every day now since the relationship has been built. I don't know what will happen if that relationship is broken. So there are many students that he has an impact on in our elementary school. I don't know about anything about wrestling, but I know that when he comes in my room, he takes his job seriously. He walks in, I have little tubs, he gets his tub, he reads through the directions that I've given him, he follows those directions, and those kids are better off for having him. I can't say that about everybody that I've ever had as an aide, but I can say that about him.
On tactics, I'm the middle school wrestling coach. I would also like to attest to the wrestling side of everything. He's great for kids. I mean, I've never had an issue. You know what I mean? It's, my kids have been in his house, so, when it comes to the wrestling side, I can attest to that as well. We work great together, he's great with the kids. He takes them off to the side one-on-one when the one's coming down, always has a way of bringing them back in. So I would like to say that. Thank you.
I also have a comment on that. I have been a teacher here for 25 years, and I do believe that, well, I'll just read what I have. It has come to my attention that Brandon Williams is being dismissed from his position as an aide at West Central Elementary School. As a classroom teacher with 25 years of experience and someone who has worked closely with Brandon throughout the school year, I feel it is important to share my professional perspective on his impact on students. I can state without hesitation that Brandon stands out as one of my most effective and supportive aides I have worked with during my teaching career. He demonstrates patience, consistency, and genuine commitment to helping students succeed both academically and behaviorally. He regularly encourages students to make positive choices and supports them in doing what is right. For students who do not always have strong or stable support outside of school, Brandon has been a dependable and encouraging adult presence. He builds trust with students and takes the time to ensure they feel supported and valued. At the end of the school day, he often checks in with and says goodbye to students who work under his guidance. Small actions that have a meaning impact on students who rely on consistency and positive relationships. Brandon's strong connection to our community further enhances his effectiveness. As someone from the area whose children attend school here, he knows many of our students beyond those who works with directly. This familiarity, allows him to build respectful relationships throughout the building and better understand our students' needs. As educators, we are here for one reason: to do what is best for our students. Brandon consistently fulfills that purpose. My intent in writing this letter is not to question administrative authority, but to ensure that his daily contributions and positive influences on students are fully considered. Thank you for letting me speak.
Any other public comment this evening? We're now going to move on with the rest of our agenda. Once again, if you guys do want to leave or stay for the rest of the meeting, it's 100% up to you guys. If you do want to leave, now would be the time. So. Approval of agenda.
I make a motion.
All those in favor of approval approving the agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? I get a motion for the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve minutes. And regular session.
Second.
Those in favor of approving the minutes, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Carries. Requisitions. Do I have a motion?
Mr. President, I would move we approve requisitions 26029 through 26058.
Scott? Second.
Also,
I can go over a few of these larger items. The fourth item down there is commercial mats and rubber entrance mats for the elementary. Some of the entrance mats where students come in or on buses need to do more absorption, so those will be replaced there.
we have a more appropriate for the athletic entrance.
So the issue with that was, what happened was the ground was cool and it was a warmer day, and so I don't know that that's gonna happen all the time. We have extra mats we can put down if we need to, but I think that was an event that was,
Because it's not temperature controlled.
yes. Some of the other larger things on down, maybe 3/4, 4/5 of the way down, you see server upgrade from Mohawks. We'll be able to get roughly half of that back through our school safety grant. So this will allow our camera servers to serve more, save more space on the servers. Currently now it might be a month or two, so we'll be able to save more time. Mohawks is a camera installation for the canopy that needs to be replaced. The next one from Flex Pack is a scrubber for the elementary school. We purchased one about 7 months ago for the high school. This is the elementary. The current one is leaking water, it leaves tracks, those kind of things. Any other questions for any items?
The server upgrade with Mohawks, is that just for the security part of that?
That's for camera service, our camera server only holds so much video space, so it only holds maybe like a month or two. And then if you're trying to go back and you find out that something happened November 15th, there's no video of it because the server won't hold that much, it's constantly writing it over. So this is for a server or 2 servers to help maintain more storage so that we can archive more footage if we need to go back.
So what will it be now?
Pardon me?
What will it be now?
Right now,
How
it's,
long? I mean, with the upgrade,
Right
how
now
long
it's-
will it be?
it should be a lot longer, it should be 5 or 6 months. And right now it's probably 2 months maybe, it depends on which server it is.
Yeah, one time.
Yes,
fee.
yes.
Questions? All those in favor of accepting the requisition list, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Consent agenda, personnel report.
So one of the things you have on here is a recommendation for Nancy Baylor, going back to 8/9/21. So there's no record we have that she was board approved at some point. She subbed during COVID and was asked to return, but the board never approved her. And as such, then she's not been getting any PTO days, or we've not contributed to her. So we need to kind of make that right, so kind of retroactive. She's been continuously employed, she's not filling in, she's not subbing. And then you have the custodians there who have started as well as temporary, like to give them benefits as well, so that's why they're listed. And then you have the requests, and you have a copy of her request.
I think
Second.
I'll second.
Mr. President, I need to recuse myself from this vote because I have a family member on there, please.
All those in favor of the Todd, in agreement with the consent agenda personnel report, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? School board meeting dates.
And this should have something we did in the January meeting, but for your consideration, I guess we need to talk about when you'd like to have the meetings. Currently, they're the first Thursday of each month. These would be the dates for each Thursday of the month in 2026. Standing time is 7:30.
Did we decide to leave July 2nd?
We had talked about
Yeah.
that. I couldn't remember if we decided to do it this night or not.
Tuesday.
You're okay with that?
I think I'll be on. I think more, everything else came in, so.
Can I get a motion to approve the school board meeting dates?
So moved, Mr. President.
Tom, I get a second.
I'll second that.
All those in favor of accepting the school board meeting dates, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Turbine maintenance fund resolution.
You have two of these, one's dated February, one's dated September, so. So the one dated February would be the one that's in the book, that's approved. Just some information about our costs for NIPSCO. So I went back and pulled, I guess I'm concerned about the wind turbine and being able to continue to keep it running. It definitely helps our operations fund. And so I kind of went back to 2020 and gave you a list of, these are our NIPSCO bills for electricity over the years. And so you can see, they're not going in the right direction. We had a major fault last year when we had a surge in power that took it down for 3 or 4 months. It was $200,000. NIPSCO will cut us back if they're working on the line. Rates have increased. So in order to make sure that the turbine is running for many more years, I think there's a standing, you have a copy of the fund report. There is a standing wind turbine fund that was established many years ago before I was here. There's no money in that fund. The purpose would be for repairs to the turbine, so that we can keep it going, because really need to, and if not, roughly our energy bills are like $30,000, $35,000 a month. So just shy of $40,000 to our operations if we're not able to keep the turbine going.
What happened? What did you do? It's not really windy here or what?
Maybe it's missing the one.
Then
I thought, yeah, it was just raining.
Maybe see what you can do when it's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Comment? I get a motion to approve the turbine maintenance fund resolution.
I'll make that motion.
All second.
All those in favor of accepting the turbine maintenance fund resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Net results volleyball league Sunday practice consideration.
this,
Motion first.
Yeah. Can I get a motion to approve that? I will make that motion. Can I get a second?
All second.
this is a reconsideration of the Net Results Volleyball League having Sunday practices 1 to 3, approximately 20 individuals. Some might be West Central players, but most of these might be other players that don't reside here. This came before the board. Yeah. So I was asked to bring this back for consideration.
Like, I voted no last time for this. And the reason I voted no was thinking that, as we had talked before, that you hate to see the kids have another day that, for practice and being on Sunday. My first thought is, no, let's protect that. But since that time, I've talked with others and those involved in that if we don't allow the practice on Sunday afternoons, they'll either not have a place to practice or they'll have to travel somewhere else. And what I found was that in trying to protect Sunday morning, that, hoping everyone could go to church. If they can't practice here, then they got to travel somewhere else, and guess what? They miss church. And so it kind of defeats itself. The other thing was that just another day to practice, but my understanding is this would not be for our regular sports teams and their coaches to have another day to have practice. Is that correct? Yeah. And that's a good thing. The other thing is I would hope we can keep it off of Sunday mornings. So that people still have the opportunity to go to church, but I can see that Sunday afternoon, Sunday evenings would be good for our community. We have the facilities, and so that said, I will be voting yes this time.
Dennis, I was gonna speak and you pretty much took all the words out of my mouth there. I visited with a few board members, a few in the community, a few at my own personal church. Same instance where now we might have to travel, so now we're not gonna be at church. Certainly that was in the opposite direction of where I was hoping to take this. I too voted no. And I believe I'll kind of retract that thought a little bit tonight and vote the other way. Again, with the hope that this is for non-West Central coaching and teams. Because I feel like if you sign up for a league, you're making that conscious decision ahead of time, knowing that you might have a game or a practice on a Sunday. And then that's you making that on your own free will. Whereas if you join a school team with the thought that you'll have practices and games throughout the week. Historically, we've never had anything on a Sunday. And then even if a coach says, well, you don't have to come to practice on a Sunday, what kid's not going to come in fear of not getting to play? So that would be where I'm at with this as well.
I will say, I guess I have a question. Since all but one date has already passed, what is the use of a vote now?
So they're using a facility down in Lonon right now, is my understanding. And the idea is that they want to be able to do what they can while they're here to have the kids get used to it. And then hopefully in the hopes of having a tournament.
So are there more dates than just the February 8th, this Sunday coming up?
There is
a question
mark.
There's a question mark.
I don't have any
So,
requests.
But their tournament is,
We're not voting on the tournament.
no,
They're
I'm just
voting on
looking at,
practice.
the date. So see how much time you're reading. That is correct.
Well, there's also a separate vote for
for
The
for
term.
term. I was just looking to see when the date of that was.
That's March.
March 8th.
Wait,
And I would say surely by now, they already have a place to practice on the 8th. If they're,
well,
Yeah,
the
ball
8th
game.
is a tournament.
No,
no, the February 8th.
Oh.
I don't think, from what and
Yeah.
again, from what I'm understanding is that they are picking up what they can, like, when they can. kind of thing. It's not, they don't have an actual set schedule, but I could, where they're at now, they're just trying to get in when they can.
Yes, I would think it as the 8th. We vote on this together.
No, there's
No,
not.
they're
Yes,
separate.
okay, yeah, basically just, we're voting on the 8th, for the 8th.
And Mr. President, I will still vote no for the same reasons as I did before.
Any other discussion? In regards to the net results volleyball league Sunday practices reconsideration, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Aye.
Net results volleyball tournament.
So regarding,
I have a motion. to approve. Can I get a second? I will make that motion.
the difference with this one is it starts at 11, so the time is 11 to 4. Shannon Fritz also helps a little bit with this, with Sharon for net results volleyball. And I did ask Shannon if the time could be adjusted to start at 12, so it's not at 11. And she said, I think that would work. It came down to not being approved versus.
Sorry, I probably should have said that to begin with.
I was gonna say,
Change the
I
time
would
one.
change the time.
We can
Just
make
the
that
word
notation.
approve the time.
can we, we
Yeah.
just say we approve it from 12
Oh.
to before the.
How do we go about doing that?
You can just tell me that and I will write it in your
Okay,
notes.
then let's.
Approved with,
Yeah.
if it's
With the
approved,
stipulation
approved
from 12 to 5
with
o'clock.
changes.
Why not make it 1 o'clock and make sure that churches are out by then, because they've got travel time. Suggestion.
I honestly, at this point, I think it's more that that's what it takes on our end. I don't know.
Someone want to adjust the motion or amend the motion
And
to approve it?
the amended motion?
I'll amend the amended motion. Make it 1-6.
We don't wanna set the time.
One till completion. Start time at 1.
It starts at
There you
1
go.
o'clock. Okay.
I know, it's crazy.
So cool.
It's gotta be hours.
Okay. All right, so all those in favor of the net results volleyball tournament on Sunday with the start time of 1 p.m., please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Boys and Girls Club of the Northern Indiana Corridor. We'll get to that. I have a motion to approve. I have a second.
we've been very fortunate to have the Boys and Girls Club at the elementary to provide aftercare the past 2 or 3 years. It's been a good partnership. They've been able to have funds provided to them by the Department of Education, so it's not costing us anything. So that's all been covered by the Department of Education. Their funding has run out, and so next year, they're asking for a annual management and administrative fee, site fee of $5,000 to continue to provide the services. There's roughly 30 kids-ish that come. I think it's a really good thing for parents that take advantage of that. We do have a grant from Community Foundation, Glasgow County, that Leanne awarded both us and Winnemac, Eastern Glasgow, $5,000 to cover this cost. So Eastern Glasgow is getting their fee covered this year, and we're getting our fee covered next year. So we're still on DOE funding this year, but next year will not cost us. It will go toward helping offset the cost that parents would have to pay. So the parents don't have to pay, but parents will most likely have to pay something. And the Eastern Glasgow parents have had to pay something for Boys and Girls Club. They've not received it for free.
Excuse me, this is a yearly fee, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
you might have said, so I
It's
just missed
yearly.
that. Thank you.
School year.
So you said basically every other year, about the same, that.
Every year we'll have to pay, starting, we won't, obviously, we're gonna do grant funding for 26, 27, but then following year will be $5,000, so it's annual $5,000, but next year's covered because we have a grant,
Is that possible to keep reapplying?
potentially.
As long as there's a grant, there's no cost.
Correct. I take that back, because there is no more DOE funding, but it'll be at a reduced rate with helping on this $5,000 offset a bit of that, to provide some scholarships. But there will be a fee the parents will have to start paying.
Kathy, I see the insurance requirements are in there. Do they provide a certificate
Yes,
to us?
they will.
Discussion. All those in favor of the Boys and Girls Club of Northern Indiana, Florida, NW, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Fourth grade out of state field trip to Chicago Wolves hockey game February 19th.
I'll make that motion, Mr. President.
Second.
Fourth grade teachers wrote a grant, and received a grant to help cover the cost of this, and so there's no, there shouldn't be much cost if at all to any of the parents. It's an out-of-state field trip, so it does require board approval, that's why the board approves this one.
All those in favor of approving the fourth grade out-of-state field trip to Chicago Wolves hockey game February 19th, 2026, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Carries.
I like how they put students learn how hockey relates to everyday classrooms.
There's no fights break out.
They might learn some other things.
Yeah, we have the FCCLA overnight trip to the FCCLA State Convention. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that, Mr. President.
Once again, this is an overnight trip, so it does require board approval. Looks like they're leaving on the 26th. Should be back the next day.
All those in favor of approving the FCCLA overnight trip to FCCLA State Convention, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Next, we have the 2026, 2027 payments.
Make a motion to approve this.
I would second that motion.
You have two copies only because the first one is a fiscal year that starts in July and ends in June. And then the second one might be of teachers and it's part of like the bargaining agreement. And so those are mentioned there. So they're the same pay scale. It's just how you interpret it.
All those in favor of approving the 2026-2027 pay dates, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Carries. Video, internet, service agreement. Video.
I'll make that motion, Mr. President.
Have a second?
We currently have two internet lines that we had before I came. One line handles our phones, and it used to be through ENA. ENA changed to Zayo, so ENA is Zayo. And then our second line was Fastlane from Uptown, and that's changed to Nextlink out of Texas. So the changeover from Fastlane to Nextlink has been a little rocky, to say the least. They can't find our accounts most of the time when we call. They told us we'd be able to monitor our traffic, and we only got that like last week, and they've been promising that since like September. And I know it takes time to do those things. So this is there's a concern that we haven't had the greatest customer support either from Nextlink. I mean, Fastlane, Mike is in town, call Mike came, so Mike is still kind of involved, but I think Greg from Vertical Horizons and I are kind of concerned that the internet's is going to go down and we can't get a hold of somebody. And so we can always switch the traffic to the second line. We can always switch traffic from the Nextlink line to the Zayo. So this kind of gives a little bit more internet speed on that phone service, because we had a lot of outages this past fall. And I realize they're putting in fiber throughout the community, and they've been cutting fiber and that kind of thing. So there would be days when we had no fiber and we're waiting and it was real spotty. And half the time lately when I call for an issue for Nextlink, I don't really get anybody when I call early in the morning. I might get somebody who responds, might not. Tell them, well, we'll have to have somebody get to you when they can. So this helps us create more bandwidth on that second phone line if we needed to move service over to that line. And then in 2 years, then our internet service will be back up for bid, and then we can entertain different solutions for
So you're still keeping fast, or
Nextlink, because we have a contract with them. Yes,
Do they still have equipment up on our roof?
yes. They came to switch out a new radio or antenna or whatever, and came and it didn't work, and they were here for like 4 hours, so tech was here with them like for 4 hours, didn't get it fixed. But they came back the next day, and we didn't have any internet, and so I'm Eric can kind of test that it's been kind of a bad rock.
yeah, it's not great at our house here across the road. It's not too good.
We have the same company.
Yeah.
Our house is not good.
It's been slow.
Yeah, very slow. Ever since it switched over, you could see.
There was periods in time where Fastlane was not great either, but
That's true, but this has
is
been worse. Yeah.
So they have equipment to go past us on our roof?
So
Or is that
Mike
just
has stuff up
equipment
there.
for,
We're just picking up the super.
we're not, it's not like a rebounder where it's sitting
Relay.
for,
No.
say, they have some of our equipment we get a deal
Silo.
on your relay.
Any other discussion?
So one, there's a couple of case scales here.
Yes. So we,
Looking at the top one, bottom,
top of the 500.
I assume we already have a firewall with our IT company. That was in the second package.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct.
Sorry, you said 500?
I believe so.
This is just a backup, right? This is not our,
Just a back.
this is not our.
It's the other
full-
line, right, but we need to be able to switch back and forth. Yes, correct. I can clarify if it's.
Yeah, well, that's what I was wondering, if we would be going 1 gig,
Even 1 gig before students on it isn't gonna be very good.
it's better than none at all.
It's better than none at all, you're right.
Anything else?
But it was a preference, not that much.
All those in favor of approving the data internet service agreement, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed? I give a motion on the West Central band trip to Indiana State University All-Star Honor Band overnight trip, January 30th, to February 1st.
I'll make the motion.
Darren?
Did it again, didn't you?
I get a second.
I'd say.
Overnight trip
Yeah.
requires a board approval. The teacher's aware that he needs to make sure he gives us some time. In his defense, I don't know if he's ever had an overnight trip before. He's had Sunday things that are kind of crept up, but I don't know that they've necessarily been overnight anywhere. Or,
They, yeah, Ohio. Six Flags.
that's true, yes.
There with that.
He knows,
He
I
knows.
know.
What I got was, because he wasn't originally going, he understood that he didn't, because he wasn't driving them originally, that they signed up.
Right, and I think anytime we have a group that's going, an overnight
Representing
thing, yes.
West Central, right?
Yes,
That's
then
what
just so you're aware if something happens, you know, I don't know about that.
Okay, all those in favor of approving the West Central band trip to Indiana State University All-Star Honor Band overnight trip, January 30th, February 1st, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
We should just. After the fact.
Boy.
That's from you.
I know.
I have Mr. Walsh's stuff. We kicked off our Kids Heart Challenge with the American Heart Association. Email was sent to parents for all families to be able to get hands-on CPR training. Leah Nilsa has been working with the American Heart Association, getting students and families involved. Our sensory pathway is up and running. The students seem to enjoy the Trojan Trail, located in the hallway next to the pool area. It is a sea theme, and many students, older and elementary students, utilize the trail. COGAT testing starts next week for kindergarten, second grade, and fifth grade. COGAT is the cognitive ability test. It's a standardized measure that measures a student's developed reasoning and problem-solving abilities in 3 areas: verbal, quantitative, and nonverbal. It's typically used in identifying high-ability students. February 17th is National Random Acts of Kindness. We'll be doing kindness bingo that day for the students. And I Learn Checkpoint 3 testing will begin somewhere between March 9th and March 13th.
What is the sensory thing? In the hallway.
So there's alphabet letters, A, B, C, D, E, and they're kind of all in a different path. And then there's some numbers. And so the idea is that there should be more to it than that. But anyway, the kids can follow the path. It could have potentially places where they could press on the wall. The idea is they're supposed to have that sensory input. And so I can speak to more than I can, but
It's like a brain break reset for kids. It's used across the board in elementaries for special ed and gen ed kids. It's kind of like a mind break. Usually it involves more than just your feet, like it would be your hands, like jumping, different stuff. And so it allows you to really
Just come home, it's kind of that same line. It was nice to see the, in between the halftime,
Oh,
JV
yeah.
game.
Yeah.
That group of kids out there. That was cool. It was good use of that.
Yeah.
Mr. Carlson?
See if there's an update. Just a second ago, we're up 1 point and almost at the end of the first half. So. It's supposed to be, yeah. Okay, our extended e-learning went fairly well. Overall attendance was just slightly lower than a regular day, but there were significantly more kids that missed just like an individual class period there. During the synchronous days that allowed, Marcy, Crystal, and I started working on next year's schedule. There are new requirements, specifically focusing on math. We have to offer interventions for any students that are not on grade level. So finding time in the schedule to do very intentional intervention. Also now, any student that scores above proficiency on iLearn and is getting at least a C in the current math class, they are going to be auto-enrolled in a advanced math class next year. So like 7th graders would be working on 7th grade standards and pre-algebra standards. The 8th grade will move into Algebra 1 to get their high school credit already in middle school. Parents can opt out of it though once they're notified of the auto enrollment. That's going to have a little more nuances in the schedule, how to make all that work too. Our early college portfolio has been submitted for review. So a big shout out to Marcy, Brian Plarski, Mark Hall, and Becky Reed. We're on that committee too, done a lot of work on getting that all together to be submitted. The site visit for that, they come on March 12th. So they will interview us as a leadership team, have a presentation. They'll talk to parents and students, take a tour and everything too before they make the final decision on whether we're accepted and approved or not. So, and along with that, college banners have been hung in the halls. They're the north and south halls right now, as just another getting students aware of colleges. So we picked out some main ones right now. The name of the college, what town it's in, and then the Indiana maps right next to it, the little star in it, so we know kind of where it is thing. They're really pretty cool looking. The students designed and created them themselves in the digital design class. So that was really neat too. That was pretty cool. The early college lounge also, these you offer a lounge where these students that are on track to earn the ICC can go kind of their own little special place. They can work on distance learning, study hall, maybe eat lunch in there. So shout out to Nate and Jamie. They got all that put together. There's couch, beanbag chair, microwave, refrigerator, desk, and such in there. We just got a little bit of decorating to finish up on that. So far, they just started using it. They're pretty excited. Took juniors in the other day to look at it as an incentive. They were pretty pumped about it, as long as, they make that commitment for the ICC too. So, a lot of times it's the little things. And they actually had another idea when Becky took them in today to show the current seniors, the ones that hadn't started using it, and an idea that we think too, we got college banners to do on one accent wall, but they thought about making their own banners with their names and year and some other decoration. And that'll just be added to each year so we can see what kids have gone through their early college program and stuff on one wall. So just kind of ask the kids, they got good ideas. So, along with all this too, freshman class was taken to Ivy Tech and Logansport for their first college visit. So we got a schedule starting to develop now that each grade level each year will go to a different place. So starting in 8th grade, some ideas. So we'll do Ivy Tech, Purdue, PNW, maybe Manchester, Grace on different rotations. So, it's not like everyone has to go, but and it's offered to freshmen or sophomores, whether if you're interested in this, we got a bus where I'm go and get them somewhere they can visit. So, we had a group of 8th grade high ability students attend an event at Kankakee Valley. It was an inaugural event put on by Ball State, so it's free to go. Kind of just some different problem solving, just kind of neat little day, different thinking and such. For that, actually, Scott Ritchie was in charge of that. He's at Ball State now, so he put that together and invited us. So that was nice. High school students enjoyed the snowball dance last week. NWA was completed. Middle school saw an increase of 8.7% of students reading on grade level. High school went up 5%, and math went up 3% for all performing on grade level. We are just wrapping up checkpoint 2. Wanted to get through all the things that's showing promising again, and WIDA testing's about finished.
Question for you. On the flags in the hallway, is that red and white one from somewhere down south, is it excluded?
No, that there was a few people, that was a hard fight, So, and there's even the red and white one from Kokomo hanging out somewhere too, I think. Yeah,
Mike,
make everybody happy.
You said that the college credit thing was submitted for someone.
Yes.
Who?
So that's through CEL, the Center for Early Learning, out of U of Indy. So they're the ones that's developed the whole early college concept in the state, and it's just another way to earn ICC. And I think it is 7 we got this year that will earn the ICC that will be using it. So yeah, it's all through them. So there's 8 core principles that we had to meet. They had a rubric that we had to be able to score ourselves, believe that we were 4 or 5 out of 5 on each rubric. So they'll come and determine if we scored ourselves correctly and look at all that. Some of that data too, we talk about how many dual credits that our kids are already earning. And that was, Becky and I just had that conversation today. It's still just amazing how small we are, what opportunities our kids have. So we hope that shines through that day. It's like a 4-hour visit. I think there's a team, 3 or 4 member team that comes, and you can either be fully endorsed, partial endorsed, or sent back for more work. So.
So I gave you a copy, I put some papers, people put them together to the copy of fund report from January. Just give you a copy of that. Got a copy of the revenue report. So on the left, I'll just get that, give the revenue report. Behind the revenue report, you have historical bank account balances for the past 7 years, it looks like. So at the end of each December, what I'll do is I'll go through the bank statements and record our bank balances at the end of the year in December. So the last couple of years, we have a larger bank balance because there's construction funds that have been deposited. So as those construction funds are depleted, then we will probably get more probably in that $6 million range when you think about all things together. So on the left, you got an explanation of like if it's Alliance Bank or like City, Trust Indiana, Bank of New York Mellon is where the construction funds were held, and then the type, and then you have interest year to date, average balance, and then ending balance. And we've only recently started investing in Indiana, or Trust Indiana, and so with those construction funds, that really made a huge difference. Next, I wanted to share an IHSA exemplary behavior report that we received on January 26th, the girls basketball team for the entire team and Emily Bunger. says that all the girls display a great attitude, even winning a large margin. I saw several of the girls checking on other teams to make sure they're okay following hard contact or fouls. They would help each other. If a girl went to the floor, it was good to see good sportsmanship for both teams. Following the hard foul, number 0 went out of her way to check on the girl who was fouled, make sure she was all right. So it was always nice to see students doing the right thing. The next report is out of CompuTrol. So I went through CompuTrol and pulled all of our power grid partners' bills that did not involve the regular maintenance. So I took out the regular maintenance. It's roughly $5,000 a quarter. So as far back as I could go that we have in CompuTrol, this is a list of repairs that we've had to make in the turbine. You'll notice in 2024, there's $149,000 bill, and then there's another right below it, the $49,000. That's from that power surge that took place June or July of that summer, and then it was just paid then. It was insurance ended up paying it, and then remember that insurance dropped us because of that claim.
So those two right there, 150 and 50, so 200,000. Everything else came out of pocket.
Yes. And we converted from SDS in 2020, so there's no records beyond that because I don't have access to that. The next paper you have are IPSS and school board district meetings. I would just those are, actually, I don't think we've gotten ISBA ones yet, so you can just ignore that. Yeah, I need to find out ISBA ones. Those are, and then you have a copy of the vouchers. Other things in March, the board has expressed interest in pursuing maybe a different evaluation tool. And so if you can find out a time when you would like to have someone come talk about the evaluation tool. So administrator assistants has an evaluation tool that they use. So Steve Whitnow would be glad to come and talk with you. This half hour, 45 minutes before the board meeting work for you. If I had you come.
What's the date? Next board meeting?
Mark.
No, it's March 5th, which
Yeah. I don't know.
I think that's intersection.
Yeah, we should be fine.
Would that work out okay? 6:45 or so?
Yeah. before we start.
Yeah.
Count day was February 1st. We're still making sure we have all of our students counted. This past fall, our count was 608.89 students. Partial student is usually a part-time student who comes for maybe a class or two. So we have 5 or 6 students who come for partial days, so they add up to, I take 5 students after 1 student, or 3 students after 1. This time we should be closer to 612, so we should be up 3 or 4, so that's nice. Other things, part of our collective bargaining agreement this past fall was to pursue a 401A for the classified teachers, or certified teachers, excuse me. And so that request for proposal has been sent out and it's on our website. Those are due back to us February 27th. I've asked the association to give me a list of those that they would like to include in that committee, and then we'll review those proposals. And then the plan would be to have those presented to the board in April for consideration. Tag grant, teacher appreciation grant has changed by statute. It used to be we receive a lump of money as a lump of money, and then we would have to divide it between the affected and highly affected teachers. It fundamentally changed so that it could only go to those teachers who contributed significantly to student learning. So they had to have 1 or more years of student growth. And the amounts are significant. There were 3 levels, $3,500, $5,000, or $7,500. And so there were 8 teachers that applied in our district for the grant. We had a committee of people who can't get the grant, like myself, like Sean, Marcy, Lindsay were not eligible because we don't meet the statute of that. And so there were 6 that were awarded grants of $3,500. We've not received the money yet, but once we do, then we'll pay the teachers when we receive those funds. Some other things, we're making up our makeup day tomorrow. Elementary's having some data meetings with teachers. Last week was Great Kindness Challenge, so we highlighted different ways that students can be kind. Each day of that week, we've been working on Trojan trait of integrity. So each 9 weeks, the focus should be on a Trojan trait. This one is integrity, and talking about what that means, about being true to your word, being honest, being a person of stand-up character. We had elementary awards January 9th, had several parents that came for first semester and awards in the second 9 weeks. We will do that again March 19th for the 9-week grades. And then we've also sent paper copies of report cards home, and progress reports will be sent home tomorrow as well.
Moving on to payroll and claims.
I'll make that motion, Mr. President.
Discussion.
Just want to point out voucher 8454.
What page?
84.5. I love that number.
$170.98. It's been turning consistently.
Discussion.
Page 11. 8486, is that still from our projects?
Yes, 8486 is Tecton. So yes, so we're almost finished with that. That whole payment was $20,708.74. So if you look on the fund report, in our construction funds, we have $578,416 left. And so after all said and done, we should have around 200,000 left-ish, hopefully a little bit more for equipment or furniture. We purchased furniture for the community room, the elementary. But yes, that's coming out of
This is nothing new, this was part of the
project, yes.
Anything else?
But we-
Said, all those in favor of approving the payroll and claims, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Anything else from anybody? Adjourn. Pretty easy. There you go. How to vote with the gavel. Still on.
I didn't hear anything.
No, I don't think we have one of those.
That,
Right.
Yeah, I signed them all. Do I need to?